My name is Robai Muselevi Moirore, married, have 2 kids, Hazel who's turning 9 and Razela who turned 1. I craft for a living, yes, and I am also a homeschooling mom.
Hi, bonjour, je m'appelle Hazel. I'm still learning, but I can say 1 up to 10. I can say 0 up to 10. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
My story for homeschooling starts back when I was 14. I read in a newspaper back then, I think it was called Young Nation, because my dad used to give me the pull-out all the time. There was this girl called Kenya who was 12, and she had come to Kenya to see the country that she was named after. She'd been homeschooled, she was still homeschooling, and this was part of her school project. And she came alone. I was shocked because I would never be allowed to get to town alone, but this girl leaves the States to come to Kenya by herself. I was like, this is what I want. I wish I was homeschooled, but then if I can get, whenever I get kids, if I can get them to learn so that they can be able to do whatever things they can at whatever age, then that's what I'm going to do for them. So that's my story of homeschooling. Fast forward, I got married, got the children, and Hazel went to school. She went to a formal school. But we had a bit of trouble because either the music on the school bus before she gets to school, or then also she's very gifted musically, and we got her a music teacher. But the teacher would only be available over the weekdays, and that meant it's after 3 o'clock. And when she comes home, Hazel is so tired, she can't get anything. So we thought, why are we struggling? She will still learn to count, and she'll still learn her ABCs, but also music she can still learn at whatever rate. So we decided after 2 years of doing the formal schooling just to pull her out.
I can play Mary Had a Little Lamb, Twinkle Twinkle, Oh How I Love Jesus, Kumbaya.
My training is in education. I have a bachelor's of education degree. But even then, I thought that I could teach, but when she came from school, we realized that we were actually just bringing school at home, and we wanted something different. So we struggled with a few curriculums. We are still trying to learn and to understand which curriculum to follow, how to do the teaching, how to teach this one child. But I can say we are better. We're not where we started from. Yes. Well, it's basically a trial and error initially, because there's all this information, there's a lot of information overdose, I would almost call it. And what we did is we wanted to find a structured curriculum that has been tried and done. So we went the easy peasy way. Easy peasy is it's a free Christian curriculum that's given and that we are able to just download, and we followed it. But at some point we stopped following exactly what they gave us to do, because a lot of it wasn't relevant to us here in Kenya, and we want to teach her more about Kenya than we teach her about the rest of the world. So 844 was a good inning for us because, number one, the books are easily available. The curriculum is also relevant to our society, but also we feel like it's also a very good curriculum if we don't teach it the way the schools are teaching, most of the schools, which is rote learning, making the children be able to just memorize instead of understanding why they are learning a certain concept. And also in terms of examination, it's also easier because then we have an examinable body that she's able to follow. And even if we were asked any questions about her learning, it's also easier for the authority to see where we are at and how we are going according to her age. We promote per subject as opposed to per class. So what happens is that once she has done a certain section of maths, then we get her exams for that particular section, which are easy to source because we have so many exam books that are floating around. We also have teacher friends who we ask to also help us in assessing her, and just it will be by way of question or sitting and having a written exam. But we have books like they're called Score, Top Mark, those exam books that are sold. So then we give her those exams, and then we just push her to the next. Like we're doing Kiswahili, and she's still doing class 1 Kiswahili. And math, science, English, we're already doing class 3. So the beauty of it is that we can actually move at her pace. And that's the reason why Kiswahili she's faltering behind, is because we didn't do Kiswahili at first. The curriculums that we chose did not offer Kiswahili. But now we moved back to the 844 curriculum that is now giving her an opportunity to do Kiswahili. Hence, we are staggering it. The Constitution says that every child has a right to education. And then the Children's Act also states the same, and the Education Act. Because of that, the education system has been devolved as well, and every county has examination centers which allows private students. So she will be registered under the county. Like our co-op we are registered under a co-op that is in Githurai, and our Githurai co-op belongs to the Kasarani County. So she will be registered under the Kasarani County. And when it comes time for her to do the exam, she will go to the center because they have a minimum of private students. So that one is covered. No, homeschooling can be pretty expensive because we are giving the child what is possibly not given in school. So it means that we have to pay for the excursions we attend, the field trips that we go for, because we have to show them all these things. There's some materials that you have to buy. So homeschooling is not necessarily cheaper, but it can also be cheap. Because like we are doing 844, and instead of us buying textbooks, we inherit from the others because we really are not dependent on particular publishers. So we get hand-me-downs textbooks, which is a very cheap way of learning. Instead of going to buy molding clay and plasticine, we make our own. So it becomes cheaper in that particular sense. But if you compare it to many other schools, it still costs. Yeah.